was about 10 years into my career at Microsoft that I got a phone call from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. In this case, from someone in the Welfare and Self-Reliance Department, calling my attention to quite interesting. It was in global operations for a fund, the Perpetual Education Fund, and I was recruited to that, and I felt I really didn't want to leave Microsoft for a number of reasons. Certainly the money was very good, but I felt that there was something different. It was time to shift my life, to shift my focus away from technology into philanthropy. And so I feel that Baden-Powell's challenge to me didn't quite come to fruition until I was asked to make that shift and to come into a place of philanthropy, to an organization devoted to helping change people's lives conditions. And now I feel like I feel truly fulfilled. I feel that this is what I was asked to do by the founder of Scouting almost 40 years ago.
So tell us a little bit about what you do then.
I lead a team of, at a lack of a better word, they are research scientists. We're a group of social scientists, and we build programs, we design programs, and we prototype programs designed to help alleviate the root causes of poverty. And it's a wide variety. When you talk about poverty in the global context, there's a number of reasons why poverty exists. It's not just multi-generational poverty. It's not just lack of education. It's not just environmental and ecosystemic causes. It can be caused by malnutrition. It can be caused by hunger. It can be caused by political strife. It can be caused by a number, just countless. And so we try to understand the root causes of poverty and to build programs that are designed to address those root causes of poverty. For example, right now, one of the programs we're working on is designed to help overcome child malnourishment. Child malnourishment is different from child hunger in as much as child malnourishment is a silent killer, whereas child hunger, a child is hungry, a child complains and cries. With malnourishment, a child dies with a full stomach. And so it's not just about providing nutrition-rich food for these children. It's about educating parents about sound, nutritious practices. It's about changing dietary cultures. It's about the problems that come from drinking bad water. Worms, as much as you feed a child, you can give a child a 2,000 calorie diet, but if they have a tummy full of worms, they're still not going to retain those nutrients, and they end up dying from perfectly preventable causes. And so you have to think broadly in terms of how do you abate these problems? How do you mitigate these problems? It's not just about giving nutrients. It's about addressing every single root cause. And in this case, the case of child malnourishment, we're talking about 10, 15, 30 common root causes that can lead to that.
So what parts of the world have you traveled to? Give us some countries that you've been and what you've seen.
I have been to...
Maybe something things that have shocked you the most that we probably wouldn't really understand here.
Central Africa, mostly in Western African countries. I've been to Central America and South American countries. I've been to Southeast Asia countries. And these are, in the context of the programs, the global programs we're developing, this is where we, pardon me, this is where we test and where we design. And I've seen varying degrees of poverty. Now, poverty is it's a difficult concept to wrap your brain around. Because poverty is not just absence of richness and wealth. Poverty is a lot of different things. And I've seen poverty. I've seen abject poverty. I've seen people eating out of garbage dumpsters. I have seen I've seen people literally just being at death's doors because they were missing something in life. And that can be emotional, that can be physical, that can be a lot of different things. But no, no, no place shocked me as much. And it might even be that it's not the worst. It's just that I happen to be at the worst time, at the worst place. But no place shocked me the more than Sierra Leone is in the central western coast of Africa. It's been battered by every conceivable disaster you can imagine, man-made, nature-caused. The worst things that happen in this globe tend to happen in Sierra Leone. They recently had, of course, they were at the epicenter of the Ebola crisis, where thousands of people died of they get these rains that come through and sweep through and just demolish mountainsides and bury whole communities. 3,000 people died in this landslide. It was horrible. They had one of the most brutal wars in the history of Africa in the last 20 years. And so cause after cause after cause, and this is why when I talk about the root causes of poverty, we need to be able to understand being a citizen of Sierra Leone, in what are the events that have taken place that have led to this condition. I remember I came back from that trip, and I'd walk through an open air market. We talk about open air markets here. We talk about, in the context of COVID, we talk about the bats. I've seen markets like that, and I understand why people eat bats. I understand why people eat monkeys. I understand why people eat whatever protein they can get to, because it's the choice between that or dying of hunger. It's like, when someone's in a barge in the middle of the ocean and they're dying of thirst, they end up dying of drinking salt water. And it's the exact same concept. And it's easy for us in our very comfortable abodes here in the United States to be judgmental of people that rely on that type of to survive. But I remember coming home from that trip, and I can keep my emotions in check while I'm traveling, but coming here, getting here, and processing through the experience, and having had the experience to then sit down with my family and share some of the thoughts I had while I was there, I had a bit of an emotional collapse, and that was life changing. But those are also some of the most memorable experiences. Some of the most memorable exchanges and the most memorable people I get to meet are people in those countries. I am yet to meet. I'll say it differently. I find that some of the happiest people I've ever come across in my now almost 50-year existence are the poorest among us. They are truly happy, and they don't know any better. They're poor, but they don't know they're poor. That's how I usually put it. That's how I wrote it in my journal. These people are poor, and they have no idea they're poor, and they seem to live a full, happy, fulfilled life in that setting. There was this lady, as I was going into that market I just described, and I saw her from the corner of my eye. Of course, being the only white person in a 10,000-mile radius, and being 6'1"
Stand out a little bit.
Yeah. And I was walking down this market, and off the corner of my eye, I see this woman, a very frail-looking old woman, gray hair, and she was pointing at me. And I learned that in those settings, you try not to call attention on yourself, so you just mind your business. You keep going to where you're going. And I was going to visit a fruit stand that one of the people we were working with, trying to help them build a business, was not too far away. As I was walking toward this fruit stand, this woman follows me, and now I can tell that she's following me, and I'm thinking, okay, she's going to ask me for something. You know, it's normal. And she pats me on the shoulder. I turn around, and she smiles, a big smile, beautiful teeth, and then she points at her hair, and she to my head, my own hair, and then she smiles, and the message she was giving me is, my hair is gray, and so is yours. And then she opens her arms like this and asks me for a hug. Now, I'm Portuguese. Portuguese people love to hug. It's in our DNA. We hug people. I have never hugged anyone so frail, so delicate in my life as that woman that day. And that experience has stood out to me, and it is something I will carry with me to the grave.